Hi, this is Eric Westrish with Aquilius. We've got a great event coming up with women's health. We're doing a women's pitch competition in January, and we need money to give those winners to say, here you go, free money, go make women healthier. And to do this, we have a very special guest, Susan Friedman, who's an IP attorney, but also a poker expert. I think of her as our ace in the hole for this casino night that we're going to use to raise money to give these women's health pitch competition winners. Susan, welcome.
You. It's good to be here.
So what came first,
Came
law
fr-
or poker, or did they come at the same time? Which was first?
Actually, it was software engineering. That was first.
Software
Oh,
engineering, of course.
soft.
So how do we get from software engineering to poker or law, and particular IP?
So we went from software engineering to law because I wanted to have more, just be around people more. And it was kind of I'd been navigating through the business development side of things and ended up just going in the law direction because I knew I could leverage my technical background to be an IP attorney and a patent attorney and going so I so law came next and then came poker.
Cool. So let's explore your IP just for a moment. I'm sure you've
Mhm.
had lots of crazy moments, good moments, challenging moments. That's just life. Let's start thinking about your best IP attorney moment. If you think about all the things you've had where you go, I am really happy to be an IP attorney today. This is really exciting. See if you can capture for us one story of when it was great to be an IP attorney.
I have a little bit of a crazy story.
The best kind. Go ahead.
It's a little bit it's a little bit unusual and unexpected, but it was very early on in my career. I got a call from someone at Dateline NBC inviting me to, inviting me to a party, and I thought this has got to be a scam. I ran to all my coworkers, said I just got a call that just to be go to a Dateline NBC party. They want to talk to attorneys like me about what we're working on. What do I do? Um, just looked like it was legitimate, looked like it was real. Went to the party, and I brought my friend with me. I brought to make sure, just in case, um, who is just kind of the kind of person that sort of gets along with everybody. And as I say, kind of my security blanket. And so we get there, and I'm in this room, and I'm looking at attorneys that I've seen on TV all the time. We've got like Gloria Allred, all the famous attorneys. The one, I mean, from Michael Jackson to attorney to, I mean, every celebrity attorney you've ever seen is there, and me. Come to find out, I'm talking to someone, a constitutional law expert. I've seen him on Dateline before. I recognize him, and he said, "Oh, Susan Friedman. There's an excellent producer at Dateline, also named Susan Friedman. Do you know her? I was hoping to see her at this party." And that's when I found out that they invited the wrong Susan Friedman. They
They
were
invited,
looking for
they invited the right Susan Friedman. They just didn't know it.
So they were looking for some criminal law stories to run, and I came in and I talked to a couple of producers, and they said they asked me if I was what cases I'd worked on, if I had anything interesting, and I said, man, let me tell you about this. I can't tell you about the patents I'm working on right now, but I can tell you. I can tell you that there's some cool stuff coming up, but I can't tell you anything about it. It was pretty rough, but I had a lot, but it was a lot of fun. Met some very interesting attorneys there. Now when I see them on TV every single time, it's kind of like yeah, I met that guy.
Very good. So where did poker come? Did that have anything to do with it,
Um,
or is that just a separate thing?
Poker came. It was just no. Poker came as a net. I wanted to. It was in a an attempt to start building up my business. So as my career progressed and I was starting to get closer to looking at whether I wanted to go on the partnership track, I needed to start building up my client base. And there was a charity poker tournament I'd never played before, never seen a hand of poke, never seen it, nothing, knew nothing about it. And started just kind of going over the basics, going over the gameplay, going over what hand beats what, trying to remember that a straight beats a flush. Which was very hard. I'm sorry, and I even got that wrong just now. A flush beats a straight, and trying to remember that. And so I went to this tournament. I ended up being, I think, the third to last woman standing. So that's when I realized how underrepresented women were in this game. It's because there were so few at this event. But to me, like I did really well. I had like this monster hand right off the bat where I knocked out, I knocked out three players right off. So I had a giant chip lead. Um, in charity events that kind of, as I've learned more now, that early on doesn't, when you do that early on, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be an easy road out. But it was interesting because that's where I kind of started to see the synergy between two of my favorite things, which are math and people watching, and then the connections with all different types of people that I was playing with at the table. So I met some very interesting people from all over the place. And
Okay,
so
well, so we've got this, one of our conversations that we're very passionate about at Aquilius is women's health. And of course, we're
Mhm.
life science. So we're about, how do we support and accelerate turning ideas into life science solutions? Things that
Mhm.
make it better, everything from mental health, physical health, early diagnosis, treatment, all those kind of things. And in doing that, we're doing casino night to raise money for our women's health pitch winners. So we have something we can give them, no strings attached. Here, take money. Um, and so here comes casino night. Now, I am probably the worst gambler. I don't do gambling. I mean, I've been to Vegas more times than you can imagine, but I never spend much time besides watching some people there. It never looks as exciting as on the commercials either. You see people out there, but obviously, especially poker is a big thing that can pop up anywhere. And for those of us that aren't poker sure, that don't have that skill set, are we going to be okay coming to this
To
event?
this
Or do we
casino
have,
nights?
yeah, or do we have to worry about
Do you need,
the
you need to
big?
worry about, do you need to leave your, well, I mean, it's a charity event, so I think everyone wins, no matter
That's true,
at
but
the end of the day.
we don't want to look stupid. For the win, and there's some great prizes coming up too, but um, we don't want to look bad. So how does a beginner go about being coming into this casino night?
Well, first I want to say there's a difference. So I consider casino and poker to be a little bit different. With the casino night, okay, if you're going to a Vegas casino, it's going to be a very different experience than coming into a casino night at, say, Aquilius for raising awareness and raising money for women's health. That you're playing with fake chips, you're playing for prizes. It's all about having fun. It's all about learning how to play,
Yeah,
learning the tips and tricks that
it's chance. So,
the profession,
if we're doing blackjack or something like that, especially,
nobody's counting cards, none of that. Just have to count to 21
yes,
and
that's
have a good
okay. I
time.
don't feel bad about that. But when you sit down poker, like you said, that's a very people engaging
Hmm.
kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, and again, it should be fun. So there's the difference with poker is that you can so the difference between poker and the casino games is, like blackjack or craps or um even three card poker, the ones that you would play, be at a table sitting for hours. Is that there's always a house advantage with those games. That's where, the term the house always wins. In poker, it's different because you're playing against the other players at the table. The house doesn't have anything to do with it. So it's possible if you play correctly that you're going to be over time. there's actually been, I mean, it's been modeled that you can play in a way that's going to be always profitable over time. And you can demonstrate that. So that's the difference. But really, I mean, if you ask me what the best part about poker is, it's being able to sit down with different people and talk and have a conversation. And you're going to get some hands, my best piece of advice is always to not play too many hands. You want to put, pick and choose which one card maybe per one hand out of maybe 10 is, about normal, which seems very boring, but if you make the most out of your time there, you're going to end up chatting with a lot of really interesting and fun people. And so that's a fun part of the game. Now, if you don't want to look stupid, um you won't look stupid. I
Okay, so
can
let's just say
guarantee you that.
I'm a beginner.
But
How
you
do
want
you,
to, you want
how,
to. That's so I'll be there to help out in terms of giving tips on what the best starting hands you want to start with. Like for instance, if you get dealt two cards, um, and if those two cards happen to be what's called a pocket pair, which is two cards that are the same, generally that's a really good starting hand. You want to look at, your face cards are going to be a good hand to start with. But if you have cards like, if you get dealt like a two and a seven, you generally want to fold right away. I would fold without playing that hand, without doing anything. Do not waste your chips on that.
okay,
So,
so we'll get the initial green light, red light right off the bat so that we feel
mhm,
comfortable.
what's that?
So you'll teach us the green light, red light right off the bat.
Yeah, I'll give you kind of a range of what you want to look for. I mean, it's pretty face cards and your pairs, your pocket pairs. Those are great starting hands. As the game, as the hand progresses, then things can sort of shift. And that's the fun part of the game, is being able to sort of recognize what statistic, looking at it statistically, gauging your opponent, figuring out whether you can bluff, whether it's a good opportunity for a monster bluff, or maybe, you think you've got the winning hand. It's there's a strategy involved, and I'll help take you through the all parts of that hand.
So as a beginner, I can practice all those things there, and you'll teach me just a practice
That's what I'm
section.
hoping.
I
Yeah,
can
that's the
practice a
plan.
bluff. I can practice doing that.
You know
So
what?
whatever.
That is, you know what? That's the place to practice, because it's not your real money. So if you're going to practice bluffing, this is the place.
So
And that's the
we
time.
can make it fun. Everybody can come down to the beginner's table, feel comfortable sitting down there, and we can all
Absolutely. Have a good time. Yeah.
practice practice being that poker player we see in the movies, and we don't have to worry about.
Yes, it's all round. Yes, it's going to be just like round or yeah. Um, yeah. Was that
So
rounders? Yes.
you're saying that if I'm a beginner, I'm going to get at least one thing, if not more, that's fun and useful leaving that table.
Good time no matter what. Nobody leaves my table. Nobody leaves the table that I'm at without having a good time. We'll make it fun. There's I mean it's my favorite game because of just because if you're interested in it's just because it's such an engaging game. It's you can sit at a table um with 9 different people from all different walks of life, and it's essentially it's the great equalizer. You're all dealt two cards. You all have the same. Everything has the same. Starting off with the same, and that's it. We're all just people playing our cards, and that's what I love about the game.
Okay. What do you like about the idea of casino night as a
I think
fun?
it's a lot of fun. I love the idea. I think it makes for a great time, because you can, if you're not comfortable, like for instance, if you said you're not comfortable playing in a Vegas casino, this is where you can actually become more comfortable with playing games, learning the right way to play, when you're supposed to double down on, do you double down on this 11, or do you not, those sorts of things in a blackjack. And um you can play, you can practice and not have to put
And
without the risk, and just have a good time. I mean, it's for charity.
But we
That's
can learn enough where we can go home and play with our friends and family just
yeah,
with
you'll
using our
probably teach
chips
them a thing or two.
by using those chips like we would that mean nothing other than get some to
You
start.
know, when you're in the moment though, it may feel a lot more powerful.
Yeah, very good. And of course, the one thing different about the casino, besides the fact that there's no judgment, no pressure, is we got lots of food, lots of
Mhm.
music. And I think so far it's looking like we're attracting some great people to have those conversations with, whether you're sitting down with them at a table or just talking. And of course, Aquilius is a great spot for those that haven't been there. There's lots of presentation space, networking space, lots of space to hang out um and there's a
I would
lot to
agree.
play,
Yeah,
but it's the only casino for that night I know that has things like bioreactors and genome sequencers and things like that in the back room. That's not you.
that'll be a first. I don't think I've ever, yeah, I cannot think of a casino I've been, well, you know what? Who knows what's going on?
I
But
have
but
actually
I have the feeling this is probably the only one.
I have actually been behind the scenes in a casino, and there, especially the old ones like Caesar's Palace in Vegas, there's all kinds of tunnels, and we went through one place, tunnel, looking like all those places you see in the movie. Door opens up, the most plush conference room you've ever seen, stuck in the middle of that, and all of a sudden you go through a hidden door and you're out on the casino floor again. It's really interesting how some of these casinos have developed in Vegas.
Interesting. Okay. So that's a little bit different than what I think what I envisioned from the movies, what the back rooms look like, but
Well, that's what I'm saying,
I
part
haven't
of it.
seen one yet.
Yeah. So anyway, they're interesting places, both, on the floor and beyond the floor. Okay. Is there
Hmm.
one thing that we want to that you want to say to everybody that we haven't talked about already?
It's a great opportunity to come out, meet, have some good food, meet some new people, and maybe learn a thing or two about poker. Um, I'll be there to I'll be there to answer any and all questions. So
Okay. So
we
so
can go as beginner. We can go, we can talk game theory. We can do it all. It'll be a good time.
great people, great conversations, friendly
Hmm.
environment, and you can sit at the beginner table and feel completely at ease playing poker and with some
Hmm.
expert instruction there. Great food, and it's for a good cause if you're interested in women's health, which I think is
Hmm.
really important to all of us. It's a great place to be. If somebody wants to learn more about you and what you do, Susan, where's the best place for them to go?
You can either go to my LinkedIn, or just it's Susan Friedman, and I think it's my Susan F5 is the but I don't know what that's called, but the link and or my website friedmanip.com, and they can
So
find
as
out
long as you
more
can spell
about my service.
Friedman, in this case, Fried,
Yes, like
and
yes, like fried man.
IP.com, you're good to go. Well,
Yep.
Susan, thank you for being here. I look forward to learning some of your secrets on casino night. Again, even though I played poker at parties and things, I'm a novice.
Oh, well, that's okay. You
So
got everybody has a sore side. Hey, I
I,
too was a novice.
I just expect to learn one cool thing when I sit down at the table with
I
you. That
guarantee you will learn one cool thing.
cool thing. That's all I want to walk away from. But I'm looking forward to the event, and thank you so much for being with us here today.
Yeah, no problem. You have my personal guarantee.